Hey everybody, this is Rykard here again, bringing you my next black and white Pokemon analysis. Today we're going to be looking at the final evolution of the water starter, and it is the Dignity Pokemon known as Daikenki, so let's take a look. So the first thing you should notice is that this Pokemon, or this starting water type, stays a pure water type throughout its entirety of evolutions, which is kind of unfortunate because having the second typing, like with Swampert and Empoleon, was always like a really cool thing to have for a starting water. But this one's going to stay monotype for the entirety of everything, which isn't bad because water is actually one of the better defensive typings in the game. As for its abilities, obviously Torrent is going to be the one that you're going to have because that is the ability of every starting water Pokemon. And what it does is it gives you a boost of 1.5 for all of your water attacks when you are at a third of your health or lower. So it's a pretty nice boost to use. As for its second ability, it's Shell Armor, which is an ability that prevents critical hits from happening against you, I believe. So if you're trying to run a more defensive set, having Shell Armor over Torrent would always be preferred because of the fact that getting a random crit while you're trying to be defensive is never a good thing. So it'll prevent against things like that. As for its stats, 95 HP is actually really good to have, and that coupled with 85 defense and 70 special defense is actually pretty good defensive typing, or defensive stats. So it can effectively be a quote-unquote bulky water that people seem to like to utilize. As for its attacking stats, they're actually very good. 100 physical attack and 107 special or 108 special attack, sorry, are there, so you can pretty much do a lot of damage from either the physical or special end and not have a problem with doing a lot of damage with those moves. Unfortunately, though, it only has 70 base speed, so this Pokemon will not be outspeeding a lot of things, and therefore it essentially won't be a quote-unquote sweeper, but it still has a usable speed that can be used with its attack if you're obviously faster than your opponent. And it does get Aqua Jet, which is a nice priority move to utilize even with the low speed. But this Pokemon essentially is either just a really hard hitter or it can be really defensive. And with that, let's take a look at a couple of different sets. So this first one is going to be the bulky water set that I said before. Basically, you give Daikenki a calm nature to increase its special defense but decrease its physical attack. And the reason it's calm instead of bold is because your special defense has a lower base stat than your physical base defense, so that would obviously be the choice. As for the ability, it's going to be Shell Armor, which is its Dreamworld ability, and that will prevent against random crits from happening. That can wear you down even further than you expected to if the crit didn't happen. As for the EVs, you're going to have 252 HP EVs, 128 defense EVs, and 128 special defense EVs, which is pretty standard bulky EV spread. And obviously leftovers will be the item of choice. As for the moveset, this one is going to utilize Boiling Water, which is a new water type move that, or of 80 base power, it's also a special move, and it has a 30% chance of burning, which is awesome because you obviously are going to be a defensive type, or a defensive Pokemon, so getting a burn on something that is a physical attacker will essentially make them kind of useless. And if you're up against a special attacker, you obviously can use Toxic as well, because that will prove more beneficial in the long run than a burn on something that's not attacking physically. As for the other two moves, Protect is obviously there for leftovers recovery and increased burn / poison damage, and then Rest to heal back up your HP if necessary. So it's I think this kind of set is becoming kind of like a standard thing that people are talking about with like bulky EV spread with Boiling Water so that they do less and less physical damage to you. But the Daikenki can actually utilize this pretty well with its high HP and defenses. As for this set, it's going to be a physical attacking set, a pure physically attacking set. So you give Daikenki a Jelly Nature, to increase its speed but decrease its special attack. And then you're going to utilize the ability Torrent this time, so that when you are a third of your health or below, your stab water moves will be doing even more damage. As for the EVs, 4 is just going to go into HP, and then 252 attack and 252 speed EVs to give you your max speed and max attack. And since your max speed still isn't that high, you're going to have the item Selakberry, which you can sub down to with your move substitute, and therefore gain a lot of speed. Also, Swords Dance is in the set so that you can get +2 attack to make your physical, water, and other type move even more powerful. So basically the idea is just to sub, Swords Dance, and then subbing again and stuff like that to basically get down to your Selakberry and do a lot of damage from there, because then you'll be faster than a lot of things. As for the main attacking move, Shellblade, it is a new water type move with 75 base power, and it's also a physical move. And it has a chance to lower your opponent's defense. And since the attack power and after effect of this move are the same as Crush Claw, I'm thinking that Shellblade will have a 50% chance to lower your opponent's defense like Crush Claw does. Even though I couldn't find any evidence of this percentage, that's what I'm guessing. And if anyone knows, please let me know, because I would love to know how much, or what the chance is that Shellblade will lower an opponent's defense. As for its second attacking move, it learns a bunch, but Mega Horn and Return seemed like the most powerful to utilize with Swords Dance and your other attacking move, Shellblade. Because water and normal is like one of the best attacking type combinations, because there's not a lot of different Pokemon that can resist that kind of thing, or resist it. I mean, Empoleon resists it, but that's the only thing I can think of. And obviously Mega Horn is another really powerful bug move to utilize. I think it's 120 base power, and that could also be utilized with Shellblade, but it's really up to you which one you want to use. I think this Pokemon also learns Night Slash, which is cool as well. So as long as you have Shellblade with the set, you could pretty much just pick whatever other attacking move you want to use. And obviously Waterfall does have more base power than Shellblade does, but I like it better because, first off, Daikenki is one of the few Pokemon that can learn Shellblade, and I love the chance of lowering your opponent's defense, as opposed to the chance to flinch. So you could go Waterfall though if you want, but that's just my opinion. But that's pretty much it for this Pokemon. Being like a starter, it doesn't really get really cool stats or any crazy abilities like other Pokemon do, so that's why this video is a little bit shorter than the others. But I like this one a lot, and I hope you guys do too. So let me know what you guys think, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!